All right, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to get into a variety of topics, but this first topic we are going to get into, it seems like Tesla is cutting prices in multiple markets. So we will take a look at it. We will take a look at what the heck is going on. And this is interesting because usually we don't see price cuts this early in the quarter, but it seems like in these markets, which we'll go over in just a second, these markets are starting to get price adjustments this quickly. So we're going to get into that, plus a variety of topics. So if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you are interested. And so let us take a look at this. So shout out to Tesla Chan on Twitter. He posted this earlier today. Tesla Japan has now cut Model 3 and Model Y prices across the board. The price of the Model 3 rear-wheel drive has been reduced by 3%. And the price of the Model Y trim has been reduced to about 4%. Here are the prices on the screen that you can actually see it. Of course, this is in the Japanese yen, but this is super interesting. And here, of course, is the source from Reuters as well. This is interesting because we are in the first month of the third quarter. It is July. Of course, Tesla's got big numbers to hit. They released really good results that they hit big numbers last quarter. And so this is, I'm wondering now, is this their strategy? Because of course, they're not going to price drop every single market at the same exact time, but if we can use this, because we do talk about price cuts in different markets at certain times in different areas across the world, and so we do talk about that. And so I'm wondering if this is a foreshadow of what could be happening in the United States very soon. So if you're looking to buy a Tesla, I have always heavily promoted that the end of the quarter is always the best time, and so this could be certainly be a foreshadow of what could be happening if we see price adjustments in other markets, specifically Japan, Europe, and all these other places. Then price cuts could be coming soon to the US. So shout out to Sarimer. He posted this a couple of days ago. Tesla lowered prices of the Model Y and Model 3 in Australia by $2,600. From today, Model Y rear-wheel drive in Western Australia now qualifies for the government rebate of $2,300 on top of that. So if you're looking for a Tesla, you might as well sit tight and wait. Or if you're worried about price increases, because I'm not sure there's going to be any more price increases, but if you are worried, you can certainly drop a Tesla order in, so you're locked in. You're locked in against any sort of price increases, and if there's any sort of price decreases, you can certainly take advantage of that as well. And so if you're interested in buying a Tesla, definitely consider using a Tesla referral code, just like the one down below in the description, because if you use a Tesla referral code, you can get anywhere from $1,000 off to 1,500 loot box credits. So definitely check it out. Tesla referral code down below in the description. And thank you to everybody that's used our Tesla referral code in the past and in the future. But price drops are happening, so Tesla is still super fluid across the board for their different models. And of course, this is a third price drop because in the past at least week or so, because also shout out to Sorry Merit, Tesla has announced it's discounting new Model S and Model X by $6,200. And of course, the Model S and the Model X are brand new vehicles that just entered into the China market very recently. So it is pretty surprising to see that Tesla has already dropped the price on it. So it could be a sign of the pricing, it could be a sign of the economy, financing, or a bunch of other different things. But if you're looking for the best deal on the Tesla, if you want the best price, and where you can find that is actually waitingfortesla.com. Shout out to waitingfortesla.com and the team TJ for building this great site that we take a look at almost every single day. You can see that there's Model Ys on the website right now with various discounts. Some of them, just like this red one, if you're looking for a red Tesla Model Y, you can get it for almost $2,900 off. And of course, couple that with a Tesla referral code, you can certainly get a very good deal plus a very big discount at the end of the day. So definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. We're going to jump into the next topic, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below is the Patreon link. If you support the channel, get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there, so definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. turn my mic up. Okay, hopefully is this loud enough? Is this loud enough? I've got the limiter on, but maybe this mic, we still have yet to buy the Shure mic, but we're gonna get it very, very soon. But hopefully this audio is a little bit better. Let me know. But thanks for the feedback, Vault. But if you're just joining in, welcome. We've got a couple giveaway announcements on the channel. If you're interested in winning a set of all-weather floor mats for your Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, sponsored by 3D Mats USA, definitely head on over to our community page on the channel, scroll down about 6 or 7 posts, and that's where you can go ahead and enter in to win the chance to win the all-weather floor mats for your Model 3 or Model Y. So definitely jump in there and see if you can. Oh, here we go. It's always a little bit weird on the travel setup because it's a different camera angle and everything, and we're not used to it. But if you're interested in winning a set of 3D Floor Mats USA, definitely check a set of floor mats from 3D Mats USA. Definitely hit that subscribe and check out. Okay, now is it too loud or is it just like blown out? Because I bet when I hold the microphone this close, it gets blown out as well. But I don't know. We'll be okay. Let me see how this listens. Definitely. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. Subscribe and check out. Okay, now is it too loud? Who knows? Okay. We'll just move on. But thanks for coming in, everybody. Thank you for joining in while we're having audio issues, audio travel issues on the road. But we got a couple more topics. And then we're also going to talk about my Hertz experience. So if you didn't know, I rented a Hertz Tesla rental pretty recently. I paid about $45 a day, which is a pretty slick deal price. But there were a couple things that I noticed from it, which if you've never rented from Hertz and if you've never rented a Tesla vehicle, that could certainly be alarming. And so I'm going to make a quick topic and talk about how just some things to be aware about on that. In this next topic, it seems like Stellantis is now going to be rolling out with an electric vehicle with 435 miles of range, which is absolutely fantastic. So if we're going to take a look at it and see what the heck they're actually talking about, because there really is not too many EVs that have that much mile of range. And really the only one that comes to mind is the Lucid vehicles and of course the Model S at 400 miles of range. So we'll take a look at it. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Tesla North for posting this. Stellantis, which if you don't know what Stellantis is, they own certain brands under their umbrella. The first one that comes to mind for me is the Jeep vehicle, but in which they've got the plug-in Jeep and they're rolling out with another Jeep electric vehicle. But Stellantis just unveiled the EV platform that now will be able to have 435 miles of range. The other thing where we saw this, the other vehicle automaker that talked about this is Volkswagen. That's because we'll also come out with like an ID7 or something like that with also above 400 miles of range. So this is pretty interesting because this is good for all of us that more competition is being brought into the market, because this will certainly push Tesla to go in one of two directions, either increase range or lower price and decrease range. But it's definitely going to be a competitive time with a lot more EVs coming into the near future. But let me know, what is your like typical amount of range that you're looking for in an electric vehicle? Would you say 350 is good enough for you, or would you want the more the merrier? But we're going to jump into the next topic. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link to support the channel, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. If you're just joining in, welcome. Tesla is now dropped the price in certain markets for certain vehicles. Right now, you can get a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y for about 3 to 4% less than the pricing it was before. They've dropped the price in Japan. They also dropped the price in Australia pretty recently for the Model 3 and the Model Y by $2,600. And on top of that, in China, they dropped the price of the Model X and the Model X. So this might be a pretty precursor of what, or maybe a foreshadowing of what could be happening in the United States. And it seems like Tesla does a lot of price drops in other markets in the first and second months of the quarters, and then in the US, when they need all the different sales, they'll do the price drops at the end of the quarter. So I'm wondering if that's their inherent strategy that they're deploying, and we basically kind of just figured it out at this point. But it could be coming up very soon. But I mean, we've talked about the best time to buy a Tesla is always going to be at the end of the quarter, and the next time is going to be the end of quarter is going to be September. Let's see. My ears looking cute with that mic. Thank you. It's good. Sounds good. Oh, thank you, Mega Mustafa. Thank you. Thank you. Andy, it's better when he uses his mic. I can really hear him. I can't really hear him for the last couple of videos. Yeah, this one's different. I guess that this one captures more of my voice. I guess maybe not as produced, but the other one I guess is more maybe richer in quality, but definitely more quiet. Harvey, needed another price drop for the Model X in Europe. Harvey, I actually didn't realize you're in Europe. I thought you're in US this whole time waiting for a deal on the Model X, but I can easily see a price drop in Europe because they just released that reacher feature for anybody that's buying a Model X. So certainly seems like they might be having some trouble selling a, what is it, the right hand side drive, or left hand drive Model X and for the right hand drive market, because that just doesn't make any sort of sense, right? In this next topic, we're going to talk about full self-driving, and we've had a pretty hot take on full self-driving for a while, and I've really never talked about, or I've never believed in the value of full self-driving. I don't recommend spending $15,000, but it seems like Tesla also does not value full self-driving, and specifically when we mean by that, we're going to talk about the truth about the value of full self-driving when you're looking to trade your vehicle, and of course specifically to Tesla. But we'll also talk about what's the value of full self-driving if you're looking to private sell your vehicle. From what we've seen in the past through all the different vehicle sales, we've sold 3 Teslas so far, and we've bought 4 Teslas so far, and I can tell you from experience what the value is on the second-hand market as well. But we're going to talk about, but if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so let us take a look at this. Shout out to Electric, they posted this. Tesla is valuing full self-driving high only when it's convenient. So if you take a look at this, of course it's also a pretty hot take as well, but what it's basically getting into from Electric is that Tesla values full self-driving at $15,000 when you go to buy a Tesla or buy a Model S with a referral credit and get 3 months of full self-driving. But when you go to buy a Tesla with the full self-driving, it's going to cost you an overwhelming $15,000. But the quick thing with this is I've never recommended purchasing full self-driving. I fell for it once when I bought my Model 3. I paid $6,000 and I prayed and hoped for full self-driving beta the whole time, and unfortunately by 2 years when I owned the vehicle, at the end of it when I sold it and did not ever get the experience of full self-driving beta. But if you are so inclined that you really want full self-driving, I'd rather you buy the vehicle without it first and then pay for the subscription after. If you don't know that, if you buy a Tesla Model 3 or Model Y, you can pay a subscription for full self-driving or enhanced autopilot. Enhanced autopilot is $100 a month and full self-driving is $200 a month. So I'd rather you buy the vehicle without it and then just pay for the subscription services after that if you really want to try the full self-driving beta and all the different features. But when you buy a Tesla, of course, when you buy it, Tesla's going to charge you $15,000 because that's what they feel like the value of it is. But when you go trade the vehicle, as this Electric article is implying, when you go trade the vehicle, Tesla doesn't really value that amount at all. If anything, they value it at only a couple $1,000, and actually that is what I would say the street value of full self-driving really is. If you look at a used 2019 Model 3 without full self-driving and then compare it to a used 2019 Model 3 with full self-driving, you're going to see anywhere from like $2,000 to $3,000 difference between the market. And of course you can try and see that as an added benefit if you can get it at the same price, and of course it could be worth it. But at the end of the day, on top of that, you have to look at what type of hardware this full self-driving might come with. Around 2019, there was actually hardware 2.5 and then went to hardware 3. And of course, now, as most of you probably know, there's now hardware 4, which kind of makes hardware 3.0 obsolete. So it's just a never-ending game, just like how there's always the latest iPhone or latest Android phone. And so certainly it's a never-ending game that you will never be able to win and or never be able to time. So that's certainly the thing with full self-driving, unless you're able to get it at a pretty good deal on a used one and try and get the features or test it out. It certainly doesn't feel like it's worth it at the moment until it actually comes out in full release with Robotaxi and anything like that. If anything, you're just kind of giving your money for free as a loan, or giving your money actually not even as a loan, because you don't get any return to Tesla for them to test out their full self-driving and much more. So hopefully that makes sense to you. That's really the truth about the value of full self-driving, and really Tesla and also the street don't value it at $15,000, but I know some of you might be really inclined to buy it at the end of the day. But the one thing to also to be aware about, or to have a caveat about, is that you gotta keep your mind, like, yes, it's on the window sticker when you buy the vehicle and it's got $15,000 of full self-driving, but if you knock on wood, if you ever get into a really bad accident, your vehicle is totaled, unless you have gap, it's going to be very hard pressed to be able to get that value of that full self-driving back. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. How much or what is the value do you think full self-driving actually is, and how much would you be willing to pay for it? And if you didn't know about the subscription for service, definitely drop a comment down below as well if you're looking to do that instead, because depending on how long you keep the vehicle, 4 to 5 years, you could still be ahead, and you could cancel it month to month and then go right back on. But we're going to jump into the next topic. But before we do that, this video is sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is the Patreon link, which support the channel and get access to the ultimate Tesla buying guide out there with all the best interest rates for financing your Tesla, all lower than Tesla financing. So definitely check it out. Patreon link down below in the description. All right, if you're just joining in, welcome. Tesla has dropped the price in various markets. Japan dropped the price on the Model 3 and Model Y by 3 to 4%. We've got other markets. We've got Australia dropped the price for the Model 3 Model Y by $2,600, give or take. And then we've also got Tesla China dropping the price of the Model S and Model X by almost $6,200. So I feel like this is probably going to be the trend, and maybe this is what we've noticed after streaming almost every single day for the past, I think, 9 months now, is that Tesla does price adjustments in other markets first, other international markets, and then at the end of the quarter, maybe even near the end of the quarter, which is going to be September for this specific quarter, Tesla will start to do more discounts and deals in the United States markets. So if you're interested in locking in your price, definitely consider using a Tesla referral code down below in the description, because if you use a Tesla referral code, you can get anywhere from $1,000 to 1,500 loot box credits off, and as an added benefit, you are locked into your lower price. So if Tesla does do an increase, you're protected, and if Tesla does any price decreases, you get to take advantage of that low price or price adjustment as well. So thank you to everybody that's used our Tesla referral code in the past, and thank you to everybody that's used our Tesla referral code in the future. And of course, another channel announcement, if you're interested in winning a set of 3D all-weather floor mats for your Tesla Model Y or Model 3, we've got a giveaway ending this Friday. So if you're interested in winning, head on over to our YouTube community page. There's about 6 posts down. You can go in and enter and find the video where you can follow in the instructions. And on top of that, it looks like we're finalizing another giveaway for this Friday. And I'll give you a clue. It's a pretty nice accessory for Model 3 and Model Y owners. You might have seen some videos on it. I'll maybe even give you the first letter of the company name. It starts with an M for M. And so definitely hit that subscribe, because that is always going to be the first qualifier to be entering into any of the giveaways. Chris, any news on Model Y interior refresh? I've I've always pretty much had the stance that Model Y and refresh is going to be 1 year after Model 3. So if Model 3 comes out in the near future, then it will probably be after that, because we did put a poll out there. We asked everybody just about 38 minutes ago. So head on over to the community page if you want to join in. But which do you think will be delivering first? Cybertruck, 28%. Model 3 refresh, Highland, 61%. Interesting, that is a higher voted thing at the moment, because you know, we've seen Cybertruck. We haven't really seen actual Model 3 refreshes, but it's interesting that still is being voted higher than that. And then 8% said both at the same time, and then of course we got the other polls after that. But definitely something interesting. FSD is not worth $15,000. Yes, 100%. Tapia, thanks for coming in. Welcome back. Haven't seen you in a bit. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're enjoying your Model X. Yes, Model X is great. We've got a service appointment coming up because the Falcon wing doors hit the top of a garage and scratched it. And so it seems like these sensors are completely wonky, but it is what it is at the end of the day. Is the Highland standard range Model 3 going to have the worst audio system like the current standard range Model 3? I think so. It's probably not going to be as premium, but I mean, sound systems for the Teslas are always pretty much better than other brands that I've experienced as well, other than that. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. In this next topic, so if you didn't know, Tesla and Hertz have agreed to some sort of partnership, and Hertz has been buying a lot of Tesla vehicles. And so we actually rented a Hertz vehicle, or I rented a Tesla vehicle from Hertz not too long ago, and I wanted to give a quick video on my experience, because there's a couple things you got to be aware about what I actually learned. And there's a $35 fee that I almost got hit with. So I'll give you the example, I'll give you my experience on it. So there's just be some things that you can be aware about. But if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're interested. And so here is the Twitter post that I posted when I rented it, because it was a pretty slick deal. I wrote, can't beat this, because it was $32 a day for a 2022 Tesla Model Y before any fees. We were able to rent this from an airport. So unfortunately, airports do have a lot more fees than just your local location. So I posted here is the actual contract. So 2022 Model Y, you can see it was $32 a day for a total of $64. And there's tons of fees after that. $6 for a customer FAC fee, $7 for concession fees, yada yada yada. But our out the door price was $89.56 for 2 days. So basically about like $44 out the door. So if you do any sort of driving, if you're doing any sort of long distance driving, this could certainly make a lot of sense in a Tesla Model Y if you can handle charging. But the one thing that was pretty interesting to this, at least from what I actually experienced, the first thing is that there is a plastic cover on the key. I was not able to link my own Tesla app for any of the Bluetooth functionality, or the Bluetooth MP3 music functionality was good, but in sort of like unlocking with Bluetooth on my phone, I wasn't able to do anything like that. So I had to use the key card to run up to the pillar of the Model Y and unlock it and lock it every single time. It's kind of annoying to do that. And on top of that, the pillar on the Model Y was heavily scratched up and damaged. And on top of that, the whole Model Y in general, it did have like 25,000 miles on it, but it was pretty beat up. All the rims were actually curbed. Interior was fine. It was still holding up like a champ, but it was very interesting. It did have the induction rims, which are the black rims, and it was kind of unfortunate that all the rims were actually curbed. So the one thing to be aware about, because you're probably interested, is do you have to return the EV with a full charge? And if you own a Tesla, this is going to be a super easy process for you. You're going to know that you're going to need to go find a level 2 charger. You'll probably have PlugShare already downloaded on your phone, or you know how to navigate the Tesla supercharger system. But if you don't own a EV, this could be a little bit foreign, because when I actually got the vehicle, I had it with a state of charge of 80%, and they actually told me that I have to bring it back with at least 70% of the battery. So if I can understand that pretty easily because we own a Tesla, but certainly that can be pretty confusing at the end of the day. And when you drive out, when you take the Tesla Model Y or Model 3 from Hertz, you can go to Tesla superchargers. You can charge it up at the Tesla superchargers. And then what they do is they just retro bill you after it for whatever utility or whatever electricity rate you use after. But when I drove back, I actually got back with the, like, I think right at 70%, maybe even 69%. And the person was pretty harsh. They knocked me down at like 69%. And I got hit with a $35 EV recharge fee, and that's because I brought it from what they looked at under 70% or near 70%. So definitely when you're returning it, just like as you would with a rental car, you need to make sure it's full of gas and ready to go. You need to make sure that they mark it down at the exact rate, because what's interesting on this contract, you can see it says full 8 of 8, which is the gas level. I definitely did not get it at a full 8 out of 8 charge. I got it at 80%. So beware of that. You could get charged with a $35 EV recharge fee on top of the electric costs at a supercharger that I got hit with as well. But simple for me, I was able to just call the President Circle line and explain to them my situation, and they probably saw that I actually did go to a supercharger and charge it up, and so they were able to waive the $35 fee as a one-time courtesy. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. It could be even more scary, I can imagine, to people that do not know how to drive Teslas or go to supercharger or anything like that. But at the end of the day, it's certainly an easier process, because the funny thing with this is that Hertz and a bunch of other rental fleets have other EVs as well. We've got, when I was there, I saw a Polestar from the Hertz rental fleet as well, and I can only imagine how hard that could be for a Polestar owner to figure out the Electrify America system, or figure out level 2, or even just don't do anything and bring it back empty or load it empty and pay the $35 bill. So definitely a PSA out for anybody that is out there that's looking to rent a electric vehicle from Hertz or any other EV company. There are certainly some things you have to be aware about, and something that's you could set your expectation for. But definitely some pretty interesting stuff. Let me know what your thoughts on it. Let me know what you're thinking. We're going to jump into the live stream comments, but before we do that, this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below is the Patreon link to support the channel, so definitely hit that subscribe if you're, or check it out if you're interested. If you're just joining in, welcome. Tesla has dropped the price in various markets. We got Japan cutting prices of the Model 3 and the Model Y by 3 to 4%. We've got Australia cutting it by $2,600 for the Model 3 or Model Y. We've got China dropping the price of the Model S and the Model X by $6,200. So I certainly feel like this is going to be a precursor of what's going to be happening in the United States market. So if you're looking to buy a Tesla in the near future, consider locking your price of your vehicle in, because if you place an order now, especially if you use a Tesla referral code for the extra loot box credits or the extra $1,000 off, you're protected against any sort of price increases, and you get to take advantage of any sort of price decreases in the near future. So definitely check out our referral code down below in the description, and thank you to everybody that's used our referral code in the future and in the past. But if you're looking to get a deal on a Tesla in the United States, head on over to waitingfortesla.com. That's where you can see all the different discounted inventory across the United States that's available, so you can try and get a good deal on it. But definitely check out some of the links down below in the description if you're looking for discounts on accessory codes or anything like that. We've got a giveaway ending this Friday, sponsored by 3D Mats USA. We're giving away floor mats for your Model 3 or Model Y, so definitely hit that subscribe, and also check out the giveaway posting on our community page. It's about 6 posts or 7 posts down at this point. But thanks for watching, thanks for supporting, thanks for joining us on our travel stream, and